All good. Louie, thank you for joining us. You obviously join us here in sort of difficult circumstances as we accompanied with Rob yesterday. Firstly, after your first day of making training, how's the squad and how's the preparation for the weekend?
I think the preparation today, the atmosphere with the group was good under the circumstances. Change football in any industry sometimes brings a little bit of confusion in messages, provides a bit of insecurity. I must say that the group were very professional today. Took on the information, we spoke about the situation with Rob first thing this morning, and then we made clear that we had to draw a line under that and focus on today's training being the best it could be, working into the preparation for Bristol. So yeah, mindset, atmosphere is as good as it can be. I know that there's a large percentage of the boys that are disappointed that Rob's gone because they backed him and were all in on how he wanted to play and what the project was here. But we've had that reaction. The preparation went well today, and we're building towards Bristol. Yeah,
as you say, we do to a certain extent have to draw a line under the circumstances, but obviously just a line on Rob. Obviously from yourself, you've worked with him, since obviously he arrived here, and you've obviously worked with him before that as well. And he was someone who gave his all for this football club, and it's a shame that things didn't work out. But as you sort of touched on there, that's football, and we sort of have to move on. But it may not have gone his way in the period that he was here, but it was certainly not through the want of trying, as he would always say.
Yeah, for sure. Rob's played at the very highest level for a very long time, and he knows how ruthless and how how football is in the professional game. He's a fantastic human being, someone who always looked for the best in people, always tried to live up to people's strengths and to play on their strengths instead of wasting energy and time on focusing on weaknesses. And he was all in on this football club, and I think his lasting legacy will be that togetherness that he brought for the group, the improvements that we did make on the pitch in terms of how we affected the goal more, how we tried to be adaptable in our approach towards games. We focus on ourselves as much as possible, as well as respecting the opponent. All we can do now is to focus on the next game, be professional, because that's what Rob would have wanted, and to stick together, because that culture, that ethos is massive for Rob, and it's a fundamental part of how he wants to be a football manager. And I'm sure you'll kick on to more successful things.
Yeah, and obviously this is your sort of first experience on the coaching side of things, and obviously you've taken the role as interim head coach in the meantime. Do you think it would almost help, considering that even towards the start of this season you were involved in the playing squad, you know the emotions that these players are probably going through? Is that going to be a big factor in the coming days as we approach some tough games?
Yeah, I'd like to think so. Similar to Rob and the rest of the coaching staff, like to build relationships and connections with the players, to get to know what drives them, to make them feel comfortable in their own skin, so that ultimately they can be the best version of themselves on the football pitch for Crawley Town. So that experience of not being a player not too long ago at Gateshead, and then obviously stepping into the assistant manager's role here at Crawley with Rob, but continuing that philosophy, it'll be fundamental going forward, because the key situation now is that we get a reaction out of the players, and that we go and get the best version of the starting 11, the players on the bench, the guys that are training and supporting outside the squad, that we get the best version of them, because we need to show a reaction from not just Rob departing, but ultimately where the performances and the results have been over the last 3 to 4 games. We know we're capable of a lot more, so that message will be drilled home in terms of that A, we need more, B, we expect more, and we've got to really dig deep to show that desire, show that character, and take real pride in representing this football club in each and every remaining game of this league campaign.
Yeah, as you say, we've still got games of this league campaign coming up, and ultimately nothing's been decided yet. We're not mathematically out of things, so for the meantime we'll just be focusing on getting as many wins on the board as possible, and trying to do something special towards the end of the season.
Yeah, for sure. We are going to take every game as it comes. the message and the question I give to the players today is, game by game, do they believe that they're good enough to win games of football at this level? Do they believe that individually and collectively they are good enough to compete at this level? And the answer is yes. Where we fell short is it is consistency. We've played some big teams and matched them, maybe not got the result. We've played some big teams, played well and got a result. So it's about showing that consistency, and there's an opportunity collectively to represent the football club, but then obviously individual pride and progression of their careers to show that they can not only operate but succeed at this level. So we're mathematically not relegated. That is not the mindset here with this group. We will fight for every point in every game to ultimately put a string of performances and results together which are consistent, which takes pride in playing for this football club.
Brilliant. Thanks. Louie, how much of a tough decision was it to stay on as interim head coach? Obviously you're close with Rob and that, Rob's gone. Was it an easy decision for you?
Being honest, it was difficult because ultimately Rob's been a long friend, a mentor, and then also a manager. We did discuss it, obviously when the situation arose yesterday, and Rob wants the best for me as his friend, as his assistant manager, as well as the coaching team, and Rob still also wants the best for this football club. And at this moment in time, continuation, working with the group and trying to get the best out of the players from a group of staff that know them, that are well versed in how we play and operate at this level in the games that we've been involved with recently and how we can improve. That's key and fundamental, and Rob knows that. So that loyalty and allegiance is definitely there. But also as well, I'm contracted to Crawley Football Club, and the way that I see life and how I try to operate is whichever football club, football team, project I'm a part of, I'm all in. So at this moment in time, I was the assistant manager yesterday, now I'm an interim head coach, and I will give it all in that position. And also I've got Rob's backing on that because he wants the team, the group, the club, myself and the rest of the coaching team to try and kick on and to provide a positive reaction and to do the best that we can.
Yeah. Have the owners given you any indication how long this period might be? Will it be a quick appointment, or do you know?
There's no indication at this moment in time. Ultimately the question was, are you and the staff happy and comfortable taking over as interim for as short or as long as that needs to be? And the answer was yes. That's pretty straightforward. Because of the nature of the turnaround before the game, I think myself, the coaching staff and the football club knew that once we got that decision, the next step is to focus for Bristol in the game on Saturday. And probably just like the mentality that the group of players and staff will take will be reflected in the period going forward with the situation, is we'll just take every game as it comes, and that means giving everything in every training session, in all the preparations, in all the meetings, in every game, taking pride in representing this football club and trying to perform to a level that satisfies the fans, everyone associated with the football club, and to try and win as many points as possible.
And I'm assuming this is where your ambition lies, becoming a head coach of a league football team?
Yeah, I think so. 24 hours ago I was committed to being assistant manager of Crawley Town, was to be in League One for as long as possible. But 100% my aspirations are to operate at the highest level, whether that's as a coach, assistant manager, interim manager, manager, because I've got that desire to always push and to be outside my comfort zone and to operate at the highest level. So I think I am looking forward to this experience, this opportunity, this period of time, however short or long it is, because ultimately I know I'll be better off for it, and I'll give it my all. So I'm looking forward to tomorrow in the game on Saturday. Yeah,
just on a different note, Sam mentioned about your playing side. You stopped playing at the end of when you joined Crawley. How much do you miss that?
Yeah, I miss it a lot. Yeah, I think any player that's then went into coaching, or even any coach that is just committed to the journey in that career long term, will probably admit that, or I'll say the large percentage will admit that there's nothing quite like playing out there. a reflection of the opportunity and how serious it was when Crawley came along. That was a sacrifice I was prepared to make, to be at this football club, to operate at this level, to work with the players in the changing room. So difficult decision. I do, from time to time join in training to keep that step going in terms of the playing side, but also you've seen that set up with a lot of Premier League teams where there's a player coach, whether it's the first team. I know there's a couple of teams even in League One who have a player coach at our level, or whether it's 21s where there's a more experienced player that goes into joining training to keep the standards, to work with the players individually from inside. So that's a benefit of that. It's a sacrifice that was worthwhile to be here and to operate at this level, and just looking forward to getting better each day.
Yeah, and obviously big match Saturday. What's your message to the fans going into Saturday's game?
The message from the fans is, I know that it's been difficult of recent. It's been a really testing season. We've stepped up to a new level, to the strongest League One campaign that probably ever has been. The players need the support more than ever. We're going to give everything. There will be desire and character from the group of players that represent this football club, and we'll take real pride in playing in front of them, and we just want them to be the 12th man to back us for every minute of that game, for every game between now and the end of the season, to ultimately give the best account of Crawley Town in this League One campaign, which remains, and that comes from everyone.
Good luck. Thanks.
Thanks so much.
Cheers.
Thank you very much.